Imagine walking into a hospital for emergency surgery. The doctors are ready. The nurses are waiting. Then suddenly, every computer screen turns red. Patient records disappear. Medical equipment stops responding. No one knows what's happening. Within minutes, hospitals, banks, airports, factories, and government offices across the world begin facing the exact same nightmare. It isn't a power outage. It isn't a natural disaster. It's a cyber attack, one that spreads faster than anyone thought possible. In less than a single day, computers in over 150 countries become infected. Hundreds of thousands of systems are locked instantly. Companies lose millions of dollars every hour. Critical services begin shutting down. And the most terrifying part, no one knows how to stop it. This wasn't a movie. This actually happened. The attack became known as WannaCry, one of the most devastating cyber attacks in history. But here's the question. How could one piece of malicious software bring parts of the modern world to a standstill? The answer begins months before anyone even noticed something was wrong. Hidden deep inside computer systems around the world was a security weakness. Most people had no idea it existed. Many organizations delayed installing updates. Some were still running operating systems that were years out of date. Everything looked perfectly normal. Until one Friday morning. On May 12, 2017, the first alarms started appearing. A few computers suddenly displayed a strange message. Files were locked. Documents vanished. Photos, databases, and entire company networks became inaccessible. A timer appeared on the screen. The message was simple. Pay a ransom, or lose everything forever. At first, people thought it was just another isolated cyber crime, but they were completely wrong. Because every passing minute, the attack was spreading. Not to dozens of computers, not even hundreds, but to thousands, across cities, across countries, across continents. The digital infection was moving faster than security experts could even track. And before the world understood what it was facing, the biggest cyber emergency of the decade had already begun. By midday, the attack was no longer just a cybersecurity problem. It had become a global emergency. Inside hospitals across the United Kingdom, doctors suddenly lost access to patient records. Appointments were canceled. Emergency rooms were thrown into chaos. Some ambulances were redirected because hospitals could no longer safely receive patients. Doctors who depended on digital systems were forced to work with pen and paper. Every minute felt like a race against time. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, major companies began reporting the exact same problem. Employees arrived at work only to find every computer displaying the same frightening message. Their files had been encrypted. Their businesses had effectively stopped. Factories slowed down. Production lines came to a halt. Government offices struggled to access critical information. Banks, universities, transportation networks, and telecommunications companies all began reporting infections. The cyber attack wasn't targeting one country. It wasn't targeting one company. It was targeting the entire connected world. Security experts rushed into crisis meetings. Computer emergency teams worked around the clock. But there was one terrifying reality. This malware didn't need a person to click a suspicious email. It could automatically spread from one vulnerable computer to another. Like a contagious virus moving through a crowded city, one infected machine could silently infect an entire network within minutes. Organizations that believed they were safe suddenly discovered they were already infected. Panic spread almost as quickly as the malware itself. News channels interrupted their regular programming. Cybersecurity researchers barely had enough time to understand what they were dealing with before thousands of new computers became victims. By the end of the first day, more than 200,000 computers across over 150 countries had already been affected. The financial damage was climbing into the billions. And despite the efforts of experts around the world, no one had found a way to stop the attack. It seemed as if the digital world was losing the battle. But then, a young cybersecurity researcher noticed something strange hidden inside the malicious code. a tiny detail that almost everyone else had missed. And that unexpected discovery would change everything,